Hey, good morning, Bob. Trade Genius, the 9th of February. And I want to show you a really interesting chart. I love this guy, McClellan. If you could follow him, follow him. Uh, he has a lot of the market historical data and he does a lot of correlations. and he's been noticing that if you overlay Bitcoin and the Dow Jones on top of each other and you shift it basically 2 months into the future, Bitcoin is telling you the future. And so Bitcoin topped, obviously everybody knew that, on the 16th. And then he put this out there, February 10th should be the top for the market. Well, I think it topped a week early. So you can say 6-day week, but pretty darn good. And so what it tells me is that we should probably look for difficulty in the stock market through February. And then the interesting about Bitcoin, though, is that it actually is a leading indicator versus being whipped by the market. It's actually leading the market. So I think there's a purity to Bitcoin that because there's very few derivative products on it. The leverage is not that insane as it is for the stock market, and so you get a more pure set of price movements. And then I'll get into that chart in a second. So that tells me on the stock market side is that February you got to be careful, and that makes sense because we have next 2 weeks we'll have options expiration for the indexes, and then we'll have the futures the following week for volatility. And I think there's a lot of things that need to be unwound, and I'll show you where I think prices are probably going to go. So let me get to that here now. So let me go up to our good friend here, Bitcoin. And so we had this move, our buy signal hit right here, and then we had the sell signal here. Now I just want to point out to you, this is not an auto trade thing, so it's not like, oh, I gotta sell here and short the market. This is saying that you're starting to see consolidation or weakness in the money flow. And so if you're trading this, you definitely would have bought this move back into the channel and you were confirmed. And then you have a couple choices here too. You could have got out when it broke this channel up, or you could have got out when it broke the moving average. You could have got out on the signal, or you could have waited until it broke the V stop. But in any case, all of them confirm that we're consolidating right now, and this could drift across and then take its next move higher. But this is a nice move. This is what's called a consolidation on high. I wouldn't really put too much faith in a head and shoulders pattern here because they tend to happen at the tops, not after a washout. So I mean, is it possible that it can come back and retest the low? Sure, but if you're following the signals right now, and you're not a holder, you probably should be on the lighter side of your position size. And then that kind of holds true for everything. Dash is that way, and Ethereum, okay, Litecoin. See, everybody's kind of mirroring Bitcoin here now. And then you have Ripple. Ripple just popped a little bit ago, and but it's still not showing a rebuy here. And money flow on a really short-term basis has been is maxed out, and usually it goes for a couple bars here. So in the next 3 or 4 hours, you probably can look for some weakness, maybe coming back into Ripple here. And then my weekly, trying to make 100% on my trading position, I didn't quite make it. I got to 92%. I just cashed out of my last Ripple trade, only made 3% on it, and so it brought me from 89 to 92. And so I start fresh next week, and I'm gonna do a video later today talking about how to trade this on a really short-term basis to get some really good compounding. So stay tuned for that. It's fun, it's easy, and it's you don't do it with your whole portfolio, but you put a stash aside, maybe a couple $1,000s, and you can turn it into some reasonable money here in a month or two. and then use it for whatever purposes you like. So that's that, and I want to flip over to the stock market here. And let's see where we go. I'm going to go here. So, because I did some charting here. Now, this move right back here, this is when the whole charade started. This is when they started to really ramp the volatility suppression up. All the way up until it broke here. And this move here, this isn't a simple, oh, you know, a little correction here. We're gonna be just fine. This was a way of life that got destroyed, and they used it to suppress the market. Look how tight these daily candles are. That's not normal, okay? And so now we're going to start seeing a little bit more of a two-way action in the market. And my view is that I think we get to this number here, minimum, and then here is the last support area, and here is a complete unwind. There's precedence for this because this is a, you know, and it looks logarithmically, it's not that parabolic, but this is a parabolic move. You know, you're here where you're trading at 33 times earnings. You're trading at 150% GDP to stock market, and stock market to GDP. So market's 30% overvalued. I don't care how you look at it, and that brings us back to here. Now, it usually will come back at half the time it took to come up. So, you know, you're looking here. This was, you know, 2 years. So I would think before the end of the year out, we'll end up in this area here. How fast? A lot of people calling for a Monday crash. It may come today if people are that worried. So so just bear that in mind. We're not out of the woods, and this is not your run-of-the-mill correction here. And I think you have to be careful. So anyway, you know, we just have to you know, keep an eye on what our alternatives are. And gold's been holding up. People have been trying to sell it off, but that doesn't look like that does not look like a market that looks like it's ready to crash. Now look at this channeling, and it's been going up 10% a year. This is this green line here. So anything above this green line to me is gold still in the bull, and I think it's still dollar dependent. So it's coming down. It has put a triangle in here. So whatever happens, this next move, it's going to come up and it's going to come out hard. So there's no way that the gold's going to crash. They're going to have to throw so much cash into the system to rescue it that gold's going to go through the roof, and cryptos are going to go with it. And then oil, I'll just use the USO chart here, is I think oil's in trouble too. This was a game being played right here as well, and production around the world is at record highs, and I think this is going to come down pretty hard too. I think we have a 20% move, and with oil itself, we're looking at going back to $48, I think. So anywhere low 50s would be a good move down, and we're breaking down again today. So anyway, Bob, Trade Genius, hope you guys have a good Friday. Join us, and you know, we'd love to provide our insight and help you guys make money nearly every day in the market. Thanks. Bye-bye.